Hello again. In this section, we'll talk briefly about Om mantra in the Yoga Sutras. You may be familiar with the Yoga Sutras as a summary of the whole of traditional yoga, and Om is very much at the heart of that. To take a look at this, I'm going to click here on this hyperlink, which will take us to a page on the Yoga Sutras. And then I'm not going to center this page because we don't need to go there. Here is the summary of the whole Yoga Sutras, and down here in chapter 1 of the Yoga Sutras, there is a whole section that talks about Om mantra. Okay, and I'm going to click on this, and there's the Om. And this talks of this, the way these pages are outlined, are designed in the Yoga Sutras, is this section on Om covers in chapter 1 sutras 23 to 29, so that's what, 7 sutras, and we're not going to go through each one in detail. You can pause here and read if you want, or you can go on my website to this place and read it, or read your favorite version of commentary on Yoga Sutras. But it's, I think, 7 sutras there, and so we'll just briefly go through it. In the layout of these is the first thing I do in this is a section here on Om, and the first thing I do is present so a couple introductory sort of paragraphs describing the whole thing, and that's what this is. And simply, Patanjali is giving us a direct outline to the path of self-realization or enlightenment or liberation, and so there is that familiar symbol that we already looked at in the previous sections, the A, the U, and the in the fourth state. That's what that is. And so here is the first of those sutras, Sutras 23. And so it's talking about Ishvara Pranadhana, the surrender into Ishvara. Ishvara can be considered pure consciousness. Theistically, some consider it God. It may be considered supreme guru. Not guru as a person, but guru as a stream of consciousness. So it's surrender into that creative source. This is an area where we can have tremendous fights and arguments over the meaning of Ishvara. But in rough way of saying it, Ishvara does not translate into the word God as in the Western religions. But I'm not going to go into that here. You can explore that yourself. But anyway, so in terms of the Om mantra, it starts by saying, surrender into that. Next sutra talks about that Ishvara, that creative source, is pure consciousness that is unaffected by karmas or kleshas, which the rest of us are. There's the word klesha. It's uncolored by klesha. That's the ground of our being. And again, you can pause this video and look at these if you want, or go to the website and read in more detail, or pick up your favorite copy of Yoga Sutras. And this is pointing out that in that there is the seed of omniscience, of all-knowing, and there's nothing higher than this ground of reality. And it's saying here, in Sutra 26, pointing out that all of the great teachers of the past have learned by intuition from the direct experience of this. And this is what we're all wanting to do even today. Not just to take the word for it of these men of the past and women. Don't just take their word for it, but explore it and discover it for ourselves. That's the principle. In Sutra 27, the sacred word, whatever sacred, people have translated this and added the word sacred, so because I've seen it used a lot, I went ahead and used the word sacred, but it's simply saying that pranava is the name of that. So the thing that I'm sitting in front of here is called in English a table. So the name that goes along with this thing in front of me is a table. And it's simply saying here that a name of that creative source is pranava. Well, pranava is simply a word that means Om mantra. And there's a little more description of that. And this is another visual summary. We already looked at this in the previous section. And so this is pointing out that this is the gross, this is the subtle, this is the causal, This is the manifesting process, and the dot is the absolute reality. Again, so this is right in the heart of the Yoga Sutras. That's what I wanted you to see here. The sound is remembered. How? It is remembered. Japa, it is remembered with deep understanding, with feeling, with an awareness of what it represents. The meaning is there. That's how we remember this, and this is why we're going through all of this together, is to gain an understanding of what the meaning of the Om is and what it symbolizes. And then when we practice the remembrance of that in japa and in meditation, we can allow it to take us through the levels down to the silence within. And here's this map. We already looked at this once, and it's just been inserted here again. There's the 7 levels. There's the 3 major levels plus the 4th plus 1, 2, 3 transition levels, which is 7 levels. And so there's that. From that remembering, why do we do this? From that remembering comes the removal of obstacles in the realization of the self. That's why we do this. It leads us to self-realization or enlightenment, and it removes obstacles along the way. And that was Sutra 29, the last sutra of this section. And here's another version of that circle chart picture that is sort of through the eyes of Tantra. And this is on Tripura. Tripura, the word Pura means city, C-I-T-Y, like New York City. And so the 3 cities, Tri is 3, Tripura, this center of consciousness, this Atman, this Purusha, can be said to be dwells in the deep sleep. There is consciousness. In dreaming there is consciousness. And in the waking state there is consciousness. So what is that one consciousness that is active and dwells in those 3 levels of reality? That's Tripura. So it's just another way of holding this 4th state Turiya. It's another way of viewing this thing. And so this really is in the heart of the Yoga Sutras. It's right in the centerpiece of chapter 1 of the Yoga Sutras. So I wanted to bring us over here just to briefly visit that. Now I'm taking us back, and this is where we started. And then in the next section we'll talk a little bit more about Om Mantra and other mantras. Okay? I hope you're enjoying this. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for listening. And if this is interesting to you, go back and push the pause button a few times and read some of the paragraphs. Or you can go to the website and read it like that, and you can print it out. And there's PDF downloads available if you like that, and or you can order a printed version of this through the website. Or just look at your favorite Yoga Sutras book. Yoga Sutras commentaries have very different perspectives, some one from the other, but each of them says something and speaks to a different audience. So anyway, thank you one more time for listening, and I sincerely hope you're enjoying this. Om Tat Sat. Om, that alone is reality, is the meaning of Om Tat Sat. Okay? See you soon. We'll continue on with the rest of the sections. Bye-bye.